Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back to Seed to Plate channel. Today is a very exciting day. First thing to know before we get into this whole conversation is I am a big believer in getting yourself a birthday gift every year, even if it's something small. Like I used to take myself like to get coffee or something, just like as a gift to yourself of being like, hey self, thanks for making it around the sun one more time. So this year, when I was looking at I'm like, man, what am I gonna get for myself? I have really been wanting to grow dahlias. I think it's one of those like garden things. It's kind of like tomatoes, right? Like it's one of these things that you do that you grow that's like, it's just big and it's beautiful and it's kind of like an accomplishment. So I ordered a sunset mix of dahlias. I'll put some photos out as I'm talking about them, but I ordered them back in October and they ship in March. Well, little did I know they would ship literally the day before my birthday. So I bought them for myself for a birthday gift. They're here today, which is the day before my birthday, and now I get to plant them and I'm so excited. Some of them are already starting to like sprout a little bit. So that's kind of fun. Dahlia tubers look so weird. They're like in these weird little tubers. And so I'm going to plant them in a couple of places. One of the places I'm going to plant them is in my Vago garden bed right here. And then I'm also going to put them over here in my little hobbit hole along the fence right here. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. From what I've read, dahlias may not do that well here. They might require a little bit of babying, but that's okay. I kind of have this weird gut feeling that I have the perfect spot for them because it's about 4 o'clock right now and it's the hottest part of the day, and today's a hot day. It's like 88, I think, today. It's hot. But that's when that part of the garden starts getting shade, so they're not going to get blasted by the summer heat. That happens late in the day. So I'm gonna plant these guys. We're gonna see what happens. I also don't know which one is which, so this is a sunset mix. So like I'm just gonna plant them in different places. This one has some tiny little sprouts on them too. And here's the other funny thing. In this order, I also got an elephant ear bulb. I don't fully remember doing that. But it was on the receipt and I paid for it and now it's here. I think I know where I'm gonna stick that one. I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. I'm also gonna stake my tomatoes this weekend, so I think we're just gonna make this like a little vloggy vlog, like old style vlog, like follow me for the week and all of my activities. So let's plant some dahlias. So I'm hoping that my Vago garden bed, that's all the planting done for that. It's got dahlias and cosmos. Might do some shorty sunflowers once it's time for that. Oh, I'm so excited. Good morning, guys. How's it going? It is Monday morning. You will be seeing this on Friday because we're just doing a whole week of vlogging. And I need to water. So this is something that I feel like is not discussed enough, is watering routines, what you should water, how much you should water, when you should water. Basically, if it has to do with watering, I feel like it's not really as discussed. Okay guys, so this is my hose setup. I think the hose may have accidentally gotten left on, or it didn't get rolled up, I can't tell. But this is the hose setup. So I really like these expandable hoses because they tend to roll up really nicely, except for right now. I don't think the water got let out of said hose. So I like the expandable hoses for what I use them for. And then also I like getting a nozzle. I like getting a nozzle that has a really good soaker shower. So something that's like not aggressive. I feel like at this point we've all seen those hoses that have like a really aggressive shower function, and it's like can we just chill? Like this is really extreme. No, but seriously, the like aggressive showering functions, they like move dirt around and it just doesn't work very well. Okay, y'all, sorry, I realized it was going to be really hard to try and film and water at the same time. So let me talk you through my methodology of watering the garden, which sounds kind of dumb when I say it out loud, but it is important, and it's something that I have screwed up plenty of times. So in terms of frequency of watering, obviously watch your weather, and honestly the most tried and true way to know if your plants need water is to stick your finger in the ground about an inch, and if it's still moist, no need to water. But when you are watering, obviously mulch is going to play a big part. If you have mulch, it's going to reduce the evaporation, it's going to conserve the water within the soil, and mulch is great. I've said it many times here. I did not put mulch down, or as much mulch, in this garden this year because this is my last season for this garden, and I didn't want to have to spread a bunch of woody mulch that hadn't broken down when I go to plant grass here in the fall. So basically, when in terms of frequency of watering, right now with the plants where they're at, I'm watering probably 3 times a week, about every other day. Now I will tell you, tomatoes are real big divas. We've said this many times before. Your tomatoes will look super droopy and very sad in the afternoon sun. They are not dead. Once they get into the shade or it cools down, they will perk right back up. So I think that's definitely one mistake that I see a lot of people make, is their plants are like droopy and sad. And you're like, what the hell, I just watered yesterday. Your plants are fine. They're just reacting to the heat in the sun, and that's fine. It's okay. So I have this weird rule of thumb. If the plant is small like this, so this is a nasturtium, or here's an eggplant. If the plant is small, okay, a lot of its roots are going to be right around the surface. And so I actually count to 5. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how long I water a plant of that size. For a much larger plant like this tomato that's right behind it, I count to 10. And I do it slowly, like you don't want to like rush this. And the reason I created these like quote unquote rules for myself is because I just tend to want to do things fast. Like I've told you guys so many times, I'm super busy, you know, I have 100 things going on, and so for me, I come out here and I'm like, I gotta get it done, you know, but then your plants don't get watered deeply enough, and that's another thing that you want to be really aware of when you're watering, is that you're watering your plants deep enough, especially in a hot climate. You want those plants to get really down in the soil where it's nice and cool, and also where they can, you know, have that water. So tomatoes especially do not like to be watered frequently, and they like to be watered deeply. So that's why at this stage I'm watering like 3 times a week. Once they get bigger, I'll probably cut that down actually to twice a week, because their root system is nice and strong and it's down in the ground. So with the peppers, I did discover that the more you water your peppers, you need to water your peppers more than you think. Just because something is like heat resistant or good with the heat, it doesn't mean it's drought resistant. So like heat resistant, drought resistant, 2 very different things. So peppers do really well in the heat, but they need water. Think about a pepper and how snappy and juicy it is. That requires water. Same thing with cucumbers. Cucumbers require a lot more water than people necessarily think. Same thing with melons. So while yes, all these things are heat resistant and they do well in the heat, that does not mean that they're drought resistant. So that's how I water my in-ground beds, is I count to 5 for the small plants, and then I count to 10 for the larger ones. And then in terms of my pots and my grow bags are a bit deceptive. They're really good in like ambient temperatures, but once it gets hot, they dry out really fast because the soil is exposed on all sides, whereas when you're in the ground, you don't have that. So with the grow bags, I get them really drenched, like really drenched, because I know I'm going to lose some of that water to evaporation. And then with my Vago garden bed, that is not mulched, again, because same thing, I'm going to have to take it all down here in like 6 months. So I didn't want to have to, you know, figure out what to do with a bunch of woody mulch. I give that guy a pretty light sprinkling. I don't want to drown it out too much because here's the other thing you can run into. These little guys, these are all cosmos and they're tiny, right? So what'll happen is if I completely drown out this bed, these guys are gonna fall over and they're gonna get dirt on them, and that could really affect them. And that actually happened to a few of my tomatoes. I just started to get my tomatoes staked up, and some of the lower leaves that I haven't had a chance to prune off yet, this is a great example. So this leaf was falling in the dirt and now is dying, and this leaf, and same thing with this one back here, that leaf now is rendered useless and is not going to help the plant at all. Same thing with this guy. So that's something to be aware of with really tiny seedlings, is making sure you don't completely drown them. Like, give them enough. Their roots are like this big. They're just like this big. So I'm watering this Vago right now. Because this doesn't have mulch, I'm watering this like every other day until these Cosmos seeds get better root systems and my Dahlias pop up. So, you know, it changes a little bit for everything. Also somewhat of a similar story for my little tree, mini urban tree orchard thing I got going on over there. I really just douse the pots like 3 times a week and I get them nice and moist. And as it gets warmer, you're gonna have to water those more often. So that's watering this morning. I hope the 5 and 10 second rule trick is helpful to you. And they're not fast seconds, they're actual seconds. And yeah, we'll see you later this week. Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday of this week. Sure, why not? I don't know, I can't even keep track anymore, but we had some really good rain last night, which was nice because I actually needed to water the garden today. So thanks, Mama Nature, appreciate ya. But very exciting. I just kind of want to show you some updates of some of the things that are like sprouting and blooming. I'm not going to do like a full-on like little tour because this has just kind of been a little bit of a vloggy week. But we have our first tomato. Look at that. There's another one over here. Now this plant is not labeled, so I'm not sure which one this is, but it's definitely some kind of cherry, and you can tell because of the clusters. It's got multiple clusters, but the garden is very happy to see some rain. Ironically enough, we were talking about watering earlier in the week, and rainwater, because of how many minerals it has, is like a very ideal source of water for your garden. Rainwater has a lot of bioavailable nitrogen for the plants to actually grab onto. So yeah, usually if you get like a few days of really good rain, you're gonna see your plants freaking explode, which I am very excited about. So we have our first tomato, which is extremely exciting. And we also have our apricot lemonade cosmos popping up. Still waiting on my dahlias to pop up. Those are gonna be in the back here. And then I'm not sure that my camera will actually focus on it, but that right there, those tiny little sprouts, that is chamomile. And there's a bunch back here. And then I think this might actually be basil, because I think I might have accidentally thrown some basil seed in here. So this garden may be exactly what I was wishing for, with it not really being planned, because apparently I was just using it as like a small dumping ground for things. But I am just so excited to see things start taking off. It's very encouraging. Now, I don't think we saw too much of the community garden this week, but that's because really everything's just kind of growing there. I am gonna do a video about tomato fertilizing and tomato trellising on Monday, hopefully, if I can get my stuff together to film that video. And I'm thinking I might just make it like a tomato growing video, like all my best advice on growing good little toms. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me this week. I know it was kind of like a jumbled mess of content. But that's just kind of who I was this week. That was just the universe's plan for me, to be really honest. But yeah, we are almost, you'll be seeing this on April 1st. This is not an April Fool's Day episode. There's nothing going on. It's like, I actually kind of hate April Fool's Day, to be really honest with you. But there's going to be a lot of good content coming up in April. Also, if you ever have any video ideas, like, feel free to leave them in the comment section, because I want to make sure that, like, I'm making content that you guys actually want to see. So thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, and we'll see you next time.